Shall we dive in then?
Yes.
Yeah. Susanna.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I'm actually so excited that you're my first guest.
Oh, I'm nervous that I'm your first guest.
I feel like my whole vision is coming alive, and now you're the first one.
It's happening.
It's happening. It feels so real. But where I wanted to start off with was I wanted to know way back in the beginning, because I knew that you was in the corporate world, was you?
Yes. So I started in banking when I was 16. I did 3 months of sixth form, and I just thought, this is not for me. And I printed off my CV. You can't do it now, but years ago you could just print off a CV and just go and hand it in to places. And my oldest sister was in banking, and I think you just naturally sort of follow the footsteps. And I remember printing off my CV, going to every single bank branch in Harlow where we lived, and I just said, oh, have you got any jobs available? And HSBC was the one that I went in, and I just remember having a lovely chat with the receptionist, and then literally that a few hours later they called me in for an interview, and that was when I got my first role as a cashier at HSBC when I was 16, and which is crazy because now you have to be 18 to start full-time employment,
especially in a bank.
Yeah, but I remember I loved it. Even now to this day, it was one of my favourite jobs, being a cashier. Sounds really cliche, but I just remember being younger and going with my mum to NatWest looking at the lady behind the glass counter, like counting the money. That was you? And I was like, suddenly, I remember thinking, oh, I'd love to do it. And then suddenly it was me at 16. And I'll never forget like them delivering this uniform, and it was in like a big box, like a suitcase, but cardboard box. And I remember me and my mum like, oh my God, like it was just like, and at the time it was Jasper Conran, like had this collaboration with HSBC for their uniform. And yeah, that was when my career started. And then I stayed in banking, worked my way up, and then ended up in investment banking when I was 18. So I only did a few years of retail, and then went to investment banking, and I did trade support, which was really fun, working on the trading floor at Deutsche Bank.
Isn't that mega busy?
Yeah, I had like 4 monitors, and the traders used to shout across, and it was just so fun. I think being young and I remember I had a drawer, and inside was a toothbrush, toothpaste, lashes, like strip lashes, spare makeup, a pair of heels, always in the drawer, because it was always like, should we go out, like an impromptu night out in the city? To be young again. It was really, really fun.
You're still young.
Yeah. But that was when I ended up, basically at the time when I was at Deutsche, they were doing like, we wanted to kind of build presence in other countries. So that was why I ended up in India teaching, setting up teams.
I did not know that.
In Mumbai, yeah. And I was 21, and it was the first time I'd ever travelled on my own. And of all places, I was going to Mumbai. And it was like my first experience of like business class. But instead I cried because I was worried about missing my mum and my dad, because it was the first time flying to like this completely different country. And that was a really surreal experience. I remember coming into the arrivals hall in Mumbai, and it was just like, all I can describe is like hundreds of people holding up name cards, but they was all in like a circle. So I had to walk around this circle probably for about half an hour trying to find my name. So you can imagine, I'm in a country I don't know. It wasn't as well. If I'd have put my phone on like data mode, for example, it would have cost me so much money at the time. Again, now you go somewhere, you just buy a SIM card. It wasn't like that then. It wasn't as easy, if you know what I mean. I think I had like a Nokia flip phone at the time.
I think that was my first ever phone.
Yeah, it was pink, actually. I loved it. But yeah, I just remember searching for my name. I couldn't see it. And then all of a sudden, I just saw it. I just saw my name. And I just remember getting in this taxi. And it was also quite eye-opening to realise actually how lucky we are, because there was a lot of poverty. at the time, and I remember the driver saying to me, don't look out the window, just keep your eyes forward. And then you can imagine, I remember getting to this hotel and just calling my mum and just being like, I want to come home. But I'm so glad. I loved every bit of it. It was so fun. And there was actually so many expats as such in the office, so they was all really welcoming and looked after me. And I remember going to the canteen and there wasn't really anything I fancied to eat, and I remember the team, they was like, we'll order you Pizza Hut, like, to be delivered. I think it took about 5 hours for this pizza to arrive because it was monsoon season as well. And that was kind of like where my love of training really sort of started.
So you were training people from India, or did you go as a group?
No, I was training people from India. So they were going to be based in India, yeah. So they come and spent a few weeks with us in London. And at the time I worked in corporate actions at Deutsche. And they came and spent a couple of weeks with us. So we were sort of like showing them the ropes and everything. And I had to write all procedures as well, which was new to me, like making sure that obviously if I'm not accessible, they've then got procedures to follow of what to do. And then for their first week of go live, that was when I went out there and was with them sort of by their sides while they was there. And that was interesting as well because I was working London hours. So I would like go to bed about midnight and then get up but not go to work till about midday. So it was like also...
So you could then match the London time.
Exactly. So they were working London hours in Mumbai. And yeah, that was when I loved and then I sort of became this person, I think, that they was like, right, let's put Sue in that because we're going to move that to this place or that place. And then I spent about 6 months in Birmingham on and off. We used to do weekly rotations. So Deutsche then had a big office in Birmingham and we were doing rotations of teaching teams there, setting up teams. So yeah, training's kind of always been ingrained in me, really.
It makes sense more now, the position you're at today, which we're going to get into, but that was so many years, like 21.
Yeah, now I'm 37. Oh God, I feel old.
Wasn't that long ago.
I feel old.
You're not old. You're beautiful.
Oh, thanks, so are you. But then I had Joe, my son, who's now 13.
So had you met your husband?
Yes.
When you was in India?
No, just we had, it was like a work night out, completely different teams, and he just happened to be in the same pub as me, and yeah, the rest was history.
No way.
Yeah.
And how long have you been together now?
We've been married for 12 years, together for about 15-ish, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I met him young.
You've got 2 kids, haven't you?
Two. Yeah, and 2 stepchildren as well.
Oh, so he was... Busy. So where did you meet him? In what pub?
The New Moon pub in Leadenhall Street. You know where they film some of the Harry Potter...
I love Harry Potter.
...scenes. There's like a place in... it's just off... if you go down Bishopsgate, like down to the left, there's like this little... It's all like red and... I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's a name for it. But yeah, it's a pub called the New Moon. We all used to like stand outside and drink no matter the weather because it was like undercover. So we'd all like huddle and drink. And
so did you get back from India and meet him? Or did you meet him before?
Not long after, actually. Not long after.
And how long was you in India for?
Just a week.
A week?
Yeah, it was like the most intense week of my life. But one that I'll always remember because I feel like it was, not only was it the first time me sort of travelling on my own, it was almost this eye-opening experience as well.
I feel like you grow when you put yourself in that position because that is totally out of, like, imagine a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
Even if I think back to when I was 21, to go to India on my own.
Yeah, and I remember like... if you went outside, they have like it was like really strict because I don't know how long before there was like that terrible incident in the Taj Mahal hotel where there was this terrorist attack. But that aside, it was like you turn up at the security gates and they would have like cameras going under the cars, like checking before you even went into the hotel. So I did feel really safe. And you'd have to go through like airport security every time you'd go in. And weirdly, I had a security guard outside my hotel room every night, a female security guard. I didn't ask for it. I just looked through the peephole and she'd always be there.
Like your little celebrity, like.
But I was still a baby at heart because I remember every night I'd order a Horlicks room service to my room because I was like, anything that can help me sleep. And they'd come in with a little trolley with my Horlicks. Sound like a child. But yeah.
Sometimes though, I feel like when you're in somewhere where it's not your comfort, you need comfort in any way, didn't you?
But I did love it. I absolutely loved it. And then having the experience with them as well, like weeks leading up to it when they was in London with me and we were teaching them, like they were the nicest. Just, yeah, it's almost like they were, for them as well, I think they almost seemed like really grateful to be a part of this project, you know, that we were moving over.
We don't realise, do we, how lucky we have, like, in the UK, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
And I feel like you probably went through that place where the man was saying, don't look out the window sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they grabbed these opportunities of, like, you being there to train them with both hands, and they're so grateful. I feel like sometimes we could learn so much from different countries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they were so lovely. So, so lovely. I've still got them on LinkedIn.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
So what made you leave?
Well, I then spent months in Birmingham and then I fell pregnant. Ironically, I left Deutsche Bank and moved back to HSBC where I sort of started my first ever job, but on the investment side. I was on I'm sure I was on floor 17 in Canary Wharf in the big tower, the HSBC tower.
Terrifying.
And we did we have a laugh? We did, like, it was just so much fun. Like, obviously we were working hard, but it was so much fun. And then literally I think I joined in the September and no, I found out I was pregnant then. I think I joined in like the June and then I found out I was pregnant in the September. And like we had all these big plans, you know, like how my career was going to move forward. And then, yeah, I just remember like going to my boss and saying, pregnant. And at the time it was a shock because I was only 23. It wasn't really, Joe wasn't planned, put it that way. But equally, it was one of those situations where I was happy. We'd just put an offer in on our house. It was like, okay, it's a bit soon, but
it's right time though.
Yeah, I just loved every bit of it and had Jojo, and then that was where my career kind of hit a bit of a hurdle because I was trying to get my old job back part-time, but they would only have me back full-time.
Were they not really good with like the maternity or like the flexibility?
They were fine. I think it was just their guidelines and rules at the time. So the law didn't actually change until I think 2014, where you had to provide parents with part-time working hours legally. Now it's the law. Okay. You have to give someone, I think, 0.5 of their working hours. But I was just 2 years too early. So I couldn't get that part-time role. So then I ended up, ironically, had a contact that I used to work for at HSBC when I started. So you're talking years back. I said, look, you know, I'm HSBC on the investment side. I really want to come back, just because I wanted to keep working. I've never been someone that can just be. I completely respect people that are just happy to be stay-at-home mums, but I just can't do that. I need to keep my brain.
I feel like your mind is
I
doing that training world of like being there doing that.
I felt like I just needed more, and then luckily they put me in touch, and that was when I got the job as like a coach, and then I went out coaching bank managers, and that was where the training then was back in it again, and then I did that for a long time, and that was really, really fun. Fun but hard because your coach, we was on a real project to shift mindsets, and that was really, really enjoyable. And then I found out I was pregnant with Bella Boo, and that was when my career with lashing started.
So what inspired you? Like, what made you think, I'm going to do lashes? Because after I did some stalking, you look like you did nails for a while.
I did a little while. I did. Cool. You really scrolled down on that Instagram page, didn't you?
They look nice.
Oh, I look back now and cringe. I should probably remove those. Forgot about I had those.
How was that?
So I had Bella Boo, and I was starting to like suffer with how my appearance. I feel like your identity gets taken away from you. And then it was my husband actually that said, why don't you go and get your lashes done down the road? They had like this big advertisement in the window. And yeah, I went in there, had my lashes done, and I remember walking out and just feeling like me again. I just felt so much nicer about myself.
Had you ever had your lashes done?
No. And I just remember thinking, wow, it was crazy. It just made me feel, and it helped me as well because I was doing the school run. Joe had just started school. And I just felt like I could face the day so much better with these lash extensions. And that was when the love of lashes, but it started off with nails. I thought I had this thing where I called myself SD Beauty, and it was nails, tans and lashes. And that was what I was going to do. And I started doing the nails. I did my qualification for spray tans, but never did it.
I loved spray tans when I was
there. I mean,
fun.
Yeah, I wish I could do spray tans. The problem is it was all the overspray and everything.
Messy.
And I thought I can't, like my little cabin in the garden, I couldn't do, like it would just be, it'd go orange, I think. And as much as you can get those fancy when you're starting a business, you haven't got that much money to invest into like creating amazing spaces and whatnot. And so I was just working from my dining room at home. And that was when I did a lash course. And at the time I was breastfeeding. So I remember reaching out to Helga Halapi, who was my trainer at Luxury Eye.
Luxury Eye, yeah.
And I said, I'd really want to train with you. And she was in Oxford. And I was like, okay, do you mind if I bring my baby? Because I'm still breastfeeding. And Bella just refused a bottle, basically. I probably should have tried harder, but she just refused it. So the thought of me leaving her from like 8 till 7 or whatever for the day I couldn't do it. And then Helga said, I'll come to you. So I bought all the equipment. I said, what do I need? So like the lash bed, glam core, trolley. I bought it all, set it up in my kitchen, and then Helga come and spent the day with me and trained me. And the rest is history.
What a beautiful woman she is.
Yeah. I'll always be grateful. Always, always. And she even come back to do my volume training. She came back to my house because I was still breastfeeding. And that was what was hard. It was like working in my dining room, and I don't know what it is with babies. Apologies for your listeners, but I think they can smell breast milk. So like I'd be working in the dining room, and then suddenly you'd hear Bella kick off, and my husband would be like, we've got to do something about this. And obviously when you've got clients coming in your house as well, it was a bit, oh, sorry, baby. So he'd like be upstairs. And that was when he said, should we build you something in the garden? And I was like, yes. And then...
So was you always Brentwood?
Always been Brentwood.
Always. Because that's like the beauty hub, I would say.
Do you think so?
I feel like with Towie and all
it's a lot of competition though.
Is there?
Yeah.
It's busy though. You've got salons in the high street, I guess, everything like that.
And that was why I decided to have my Instagram name as Brentwood Lash Room, because I was thinking like if people want to, because I had a room in my garden and it was in Brentwood, and I wanted it to be something that people could find if they were searching. And I was lucky enough that I had a lot of support from friends, school mums to do like models, and I just practiced.
Was it a 2-day course like it is now, or like
It was a 1-day course.
1-day course.
Yeah, I had a day. Because
I find that it's strange. I have conversations with like students, and sometimes they realise how hard it is, and then sometimes in my mind I think, should it be like weeks course or something? Do you know what I mean? You have that in your mind. But I think I know a lot of lash artists that did a day course, a 2-day course, and are way you are, it goes to show that if you put your hard work, time,
it wasn't easy though. Like I look back at some of the sets I did. I remember the first time I did a client on my own, I had my isolation tweezers upside down the whole time. And then I suddenly remember messaging Helga and saying, Helga, it's meant to be that way, right? She was like, no, you're meant to hold them the other way. But I literally had a week, as soon as I did the course, from the day after, I'd booked in a week. So every night I had a different full set, literally every single night. And that was what I said to my students when I started teaching was, if you're going to do this, you can't leave today and do your first set in 2 weeks. That's not going to work. You need to literally throw yourself in. And I remember so many times with some of my students, I've checked in and I've said, how are you getting on? They'll go, and this is a month later, and they're like, oh, I haven't got around to it yet. I'm going to set some, and I'm like, it's not going to happen then. As harsh as that may sound, I believe that if you have to be passionate, and you have to, if you want to be good at something, you've got to just throw everything in.
I think if you was passionate about it, you'd be eager quickly to go get your models in, or do it straight away, practice on anyone, you know.
Yeah. And I also think it's not easy to do on your own, especially if you're a mum, because that was where I'm really grateful for Colin, because not only did he pay for all my training when I said it was a lot of money, because obviously I had to cover the costs of her coming to the house as well, and buying all the equipment. You know, at the time, Glamcore, I'd spent like 250 quid on a Glamcore.
It all adds up, and you're not earning
bed,
from it
and
yet.
who knows if I'm even going to be good at it. I didn't know. And I said, if it doesn't work out, I'll just sell it. And he was really good. He was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, let's do it. And that was when I said, look, after I've done the course, I have got to spend like a week. So every night he made sure he was back from work to look after the kids. And without him, I don't think I would have.
He sounds lovely. He's a good egg.
He is, bless him. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without him. No way.
So do you think you balanced it all because you had the support from him and everyone else?
I couldn't have done it on my own. Even his mum and dad used to come over, because at the beginning, Joe was at school, I had a baby, I was still breastfeeding, so it wasn't easy for me to leave her for long periods. So I used to do a couple of evenings, and then every Thursday his mum and dad would come and look after Bella for me while I did clients. And yeah, I'm again really grateful for them, because without them I couldn't have started on my day clients, and then Bella started nursery, and then all of a sudden it just started to build and build to the point that I was just like, I'm fully booked.
That's so good though.
But yeah.
How long did it take you to become fully booked?
God, I feel like because I only offered a few evenings in a day slot in the beginning, I think I was quite lucky, because a lot of the people that came to be models then started to come back for infills.
I say this to my students all the time.
So I didn't sort of expect them, because I think I said at the time like 20 quid. I'm just do it for 20 quid. Like, it might take me 3 hours, but I just need to practice, just cover my product cost. But then they ended up becoming customers then for years and coming back for infills. So then I was trying to find gaps for full sets in between. But yeah, I feel like whenever I had more availability, it would get filled. But I think I just got really lucky in the sense that the people that I did lashes for would then recommend their friends, and then their friends' friends, and this person knew that person. And
word of mouth is huge.
Yeah, it weren't even like I didn't do any ads, or I used to post on Instagram.
What year was it that you...
2018.
So...
When did you start?
I started when I was 17, so I was 10 years ago. 2015? Yeah, 10 years ago.
So you've been doing lashes longer than me.
Classics, that was.
Yeah.
But 2018 I did volume. Mm-hmm. So I did classics in college, and then went into salons, then went and did volume in 2018. But I don't know, I felt like that time just felt like it still felt new. Like lashes felt new. Like, I didn't feel like anyone was doing that good, you know?
I agree. I feel like 2018, I don't know if it was just a lucky time to start, because Russian volume, like I remember, first being introduced to Russian volume lashes, and it was hard to find someone that did volume lashes, because they're like, oh no, I can only do classics. And yeah, I don't know if it was just a good time to get into it.
It felt like that, because I also felt like social media wasn't big.
And I don't feel like there was as many lash technicians as there are now.
And I feel like even like the pricing, I feel like it wasn't, nowhere was that expensive or anything like that. Sometimes I feel now it's a good thing that everyone's charging their worth, but as a beginner, you almost see that price and it's kind of like you feel like you're not earning anything, like that you feel a bit deflated, that why have I got to charge 20-30 quid when XYZ's charging that? But it's all
it's a journey.
I used to charge like £30 for an infill.
Yeah, I did. My first prices were, when I said like 45 for a set of classics, 25 for an hour in fill, and then I think it was 30. I don't know why I just put a fiver on for an hour and a half in fill. But now, I'll be honest, I have really increased my prices now, purely because I just do clients 1 day a week and I need to work smarter, and I feel the time that I've spent in the industry, the awards that I've received, I sort of feel like I have to, I
feel like it needs to reflect where you are at. And I do think beginners...
Sounds really big-headed though, doesn't it?
No, because I feel like your clientele is... I guess you've been in it for so long.
Yeah.
Your clientele's different. It's like they grow with you.
Yeah,
and also like the value you're giving them, the achievements, where you're at. You're only doing like, is it 1 day?
1 day a week with clients.
You're actually, what's the word when you're not really available? It's like you're...
Yeah. I think I'm spending so much time, I know we'll get to it, working for London Lash as well. It was almost like I was getting to a stage where I was starting to feel a bit of burnout, because it was just like, because I worked evenings as well, it was just like I can't do it all. It was just getting too much.
And be a mum.
And be a mum and cook. I would say I clean, but I don't clean very well. But yeah, it was just getting too much. And then I just thought to myself, without sounding big-headed, if you went to Paul Mitchell hairdressers and you wanted Paul Mitchell to do your hair, you'd pay. And even if you think back to Tony and Guy, I don't know if they still do it, but if you went and got your hair done, it would be like, if you was you'd pay extra to have the senior stylist versus the stylist, and then you'd have the junior stylist, and they'd have all these different pricing structures.
Because it reflects where they're at.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. So I just thought, and I have lost some clients, but actually I got a message from one of them, just because Thursdays didn't work for them. Price could have been an element as well, but they were just like the nicest, like, I wish you the best of luck, I've absolutely loved coming to you for the last 5 years, and that was quite emotional actually. It made me feel a bit choked, because I felt like I was letting them down, but at the same time it's just growth, isn't it? Like, in order to grow,
I do think your clients see where you're going, like in the sense of like when you was doing more clients, they hear about your achievements, they hear about you working with London Lash, they hear all of this, that I almost feel like they see it coming, expect that one day you're not going to be doing their lashes anymore. So that client messaging you, I feel like she maybe saw the potential.
It didn't come as a surprise, maybe.
They see the potential in you before you see it in yourself. And I feel like a lot of people probably do. Like, I find that with even when you say things to me and I'm like, oh, I don't know, like, or if someone says that you're going to be doing this great thing and you're like,
don't believe it. Yeah.
No, but I do feel like your clients, especially the ones that are the most loyal, and they see it and they like, that's why they love coming to you as well.
Yeah.
But they know when the time is going to be. And then they'll support you for the other venture that you're doing.
It's hard, isn't it? Because I think I'd love to... I feel like there's this part of me that I need to keep my skills active. I worry that if I stop, then I'll forget, and then I want to keep on top of trends, because I feel like it's important where I look after training. I need to be aware of... And then I thought maybe I could just work with models and just do like model sets, and
then you can
not
still
ready
have
just
fun
yet,
with it.
but I think there will come a time.
Because I feel like model sets, you can do things that are just really creative.
Yeah.
And then you're not having that
maintenance side.
Pressure or anything like anything. You're just doing what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Was there anything at the beginning or throughout that was really tricky for you? Because when I first started, I never got taught about the eye opening and it causing the red eyes.
Chemical burn.
I went through a phase, like severe. I would not want to scroll because I know they're on my Instagram still. No one's stalking me.
Where loads of your clients had chemical burn.
Bad.
Yeah, but same here. That's why if you went back on my Instagram, you'd see they're all in black and white. Because it was the only way I could try and hide
the chemical
burn.
It got so bad that I was like, what is going on? And that's one thing I really struggled with at the beginning, and I was so worried, like my heart would sink as soon as they opened their eyes.
And you'd see it,
But it's because I didn't understand the like no talking, or I was always
caffeine or iPad placement, or
I was trying to make them so comfortable with being in my bed and being in my room. Even if their eyes were shaking, I wouldn't tell them to be quiet because I was too worried that they would find I was rude.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like now, I would say to my clients, if you get any stinging or discomfort, please let me know. And I'll say, do those iPads feel okay? All comfortable? You don't feel like you've got anything in your eye? Or like I've got one of my clients who suddenly sometimes her eyes will start twitching. And I'm like, calm down for a minute. Just focus on keeping your eyes calm.
Whatever you're thinking about, stop thinking about it.
As with before, like you say, when you're a beginner, you don't feel like you can say that. You don't. It's funny how just with experience becomes.
You learn by all the mistakes that you make, and you need to make them.
Yeah.
So was there anything other than that chemical ban? Was there anything that you were like, oh my God?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've had a few, like where I'd run out of, I think it was 13, so then I didn't think it'd be a big problem if I think I was using a couple of different brands and I'd run out of one brand, so I was like, oh, I'll just grab some of those for 13s, and then the client opened their eyes. And obviously a 13cc in one brand can be completely different to a 13cc in another brand, and I just remember opening her eyes and thinking, oh God. And it didn't look too bad. It was when she closed them, you could almost see, which I should have seen, but it was just like, okay, well, I've done it now. What can I do? I mean, I've dropped glue in hair.
I've actually got stuck to my client's head.
Yeah, I mean, there was one not long ago, actually, where I'd obviously not realised, I obviously dipped my finger into the adhesive, but on the pickup, somehow it had got stuck to my finger. So then as my finger then got stuck to the iPad. Luckily, it was the iPad and not the client's face.
Oh, no, I was stuck to my client's head.
But then I feel like that was worse because I was like, my finger was stuck to it was microfoam tape as well. So it was almost like stuck even more. So yeah, there's definitely been some, even now, it still happens.
I have things happen to me now and I think, come on, Carish, you've been in the industry 10 years.
Yeah, but we're all human. We're all human, right?
When I got stuck to my client's head, when he was asking me about them little bowls.
How did you get stuck?
She was that client. And I had, dipped. Went to pick up lashes, dipped, but clearly didn't realise it was already on me. Went to apply the outer corner. Obviously, your wrist is doing this.
Yeah.
Went to go away and I was like, I'm actually stuck to your head.
Did you have to gently peel off your hand?
She went to me, you're stuck to my head. And I was like, pretty much. And she gone, just rip it off. And she went, I was being so gentle, trying to put a bit of remover on. She was like, Caris, just pick it off.
Oh, no.
Just do it. But because she was a regular, she didn't really care.
Yeah.
She was like, go on, get yourself in there.
Oh, don't. Honestly, it's the worst is when you get a fresh set of nails done as well, when you get lash glue. And luckily, a little bit of cream glue remover tends to get it off. Yeah.
That's what I do all the time.
But the amount of times I was too scared to put the cream remover on my gel nails because I was worried it might
didn't
lift.
Want it to pick up, yeah.
But it didn't. So now I know the hack for that.
What was your moment where it all clicked? Like, was there a time that you remember out of your whole career where you, maybe, I know you've done lash competitions, was there that moment where you were like, actually, I'm good at this? Because I never used to think I was any good. Like, when I used to say I used to be nasty to myself, like a set I'd do, I'd destroy it. I would be like, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And I remember doing my first competition, cried, it was live, and I cried all after it because I thought I did rubbish.
Aww.
But I actually placed second, and I
oh my God,
sat there going,
what was I worried for?
Am I actually good at this? But I didn't have that self-belief. So is there any moment of yours where you're like,
I don't know. I feel like it's funny. I remember entering Lash Social UK.
That was massive.
And
do they not do that no more then?
No, they stopped. But I remember entering that, and I remember being so proud of the set I did. And I was on holiday at the time, and I was waiting for the results to come out. And I remember not placing, thinking but why? Like, why haven't I placed? I was so obviously too naive to the fact that what I thought was good was not at the right standard. And obviously I got some great feedback, and I look at that now and I think, oh my God, it was so, of course I didn't place. Like, I had closed fans on the inners. There were steps where I didn't focus on layering. Like, there was a lot going on.
But it takes someone
that at the time I didn't see
to look at it, doesn't it, and give you the feedback. That's why I say to everyone, if they're so nervous for a competition, I'm like, just don't even think about winning.
But do you know that competition as well? It was just a client. And I just said to her, do you mind if I just enter these lashes into a competition? And I did all the before pictures, and I soon realised that doesn't work. Like, if you're going to want to enter a competition, you need to plan it, you need to get a model in, you need to... And probably when it clicked, I entered Lash Inc, Lash Artist of the Year, and I had an amazing model. It was a lovely lady called Pat who worked in Tesco. Her daughter Aaliyah was like 18, absolutely stunning. And she had like the amazing like afro like hair, beautiful. Like stunning. And then I started to like go on Pinterest and look for, and I had this idea of like this teacup and like her looking down, like sipping out of a teacup with the eyes like closed. So I had this like, I had a vision board, and that was when I got like red roses. I thought she could hold a rose in her mouth, and I was like so prepared. And when I got first for that, I think that was when I was like, okay, maybe I'm good at this, maybe.
I love that it takes something like that for it to click, because sometimes I don't know why we have them moments where we just don't believe in ourselves. It's like I needed validation from someone else to tell me I was alright. It's so like, now I could confidently say I'm good at what I did. But it took me a hell of a long time. Such a long time. I used to
even now though, don't you find like I have days where I'll do lashes and it's like every fan is perfection, and it's like, this is a good day. And then other times where I'm like, what is going on? Do I need to warm up my room? It's like, because my fans keep closing when I'm putting them on, and I'm following all the same steps I normally follow, and then it takes me a minute to get back into it again. So I think it just shows you like we still have days where I'll call it a bad lash day, and you know, I look and I think, oh, that wasn't...
It's when you get back from holiday.
That wasn't my best,
Oh my God. When I get back from holiday, I pick up the tweezers and I think, I don't even know how to lash anymore.
Yeah, you get nervous. You're like, oh.
Did you ever feel like at any point that you wanted to give up? Was there any
so
point?
Many times.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so many times. Especially, I don't know, the times where, like, I get mum guilt. So it's like, I feel bad if I'm working and I can't put the kids to bed.
I think that's a huge thing, because I know, I mean, I don't have little people yet, but I have loads of friends who've got kids, and that is like, not even just with work, just in general.
Yeah, like, you know, like in the early days where I'd say I'm going to work and then Bella would be crying. I was only going to the cabin in the garden, but then I'd just feel this immense guilt. But actually it started to become a break, like going out, and Colin used to joke and say, safe travels. So where I'd just go from my back door to my garden.
Jack says that to me. He goes, are you going to go walk 30 seconds down the stairs? And I'm just like, you're jealous.
I know, exactly. But yeah, so many times, even, you know, right up until before I got the role at London Lash, I was at a point where I was like, I don't know if this is for me anymore.
Well, even just before London Lash?
Yeah, because I needed, do you know what it was? Colin's mum died suddenly in her sleep, out of the blue. We weren't expecting it. Came as a huge shock. And then suddenly for those months, it was like life suddenly was being put into perspective around what gives you joy, what makes you happy, what are the priorities in life. You know, it's like, for me, it was like making memories. Suddenly it was like making memories should be one of the main priorities, because actually that's all we had left of Barb, my mother-in-law. And yeah, that was when I thought, I don't know what I want to do anymore. I kind of had this like revelation. It was like, and obviously I stopped working for a bit too, because I needed to be there to support my husband, my kids, my family, because we were all really close. And I think because we had no warning, no like build up, it was just one morning, Colin went to work, and it was really weird because normally we've both got our own set of keys, but for some reason the day before I've taken the keys off of something, so he had his car key but he couldn't find the other set of keys. So he was like, right, well, I better take my keys off the car key so that Sue can get in and out, because we didn't know where the other keys were. I was in bed asleep. He'd gone and said, like he does every morning, gives me a kiss, see you later, have a good day, blah, blah, blah. He's left, and then we've got a Ring doorbell, but at night I keep my phone on silent, as most of us do. And suddenly I just had this like bang, 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 bang on the door, and I was thinking, what's going on? Like, why? And then I looked at my phone and I had missed calls. And then I called Colin. I was like, is everything all right? And he was like, open the door, my mum's died. And I was just like, what? And that was the hardest probably 20 minutes, because I was like, right. Because at that point, we knew the paramedics were there, but we didn't know whether she was going to make it or not. Yeah. We knew they were trying to resuscitate at that point. But Emma, his sister, said, look, I think mum's like, I think this is it. They're over in South East London, so he had to get from Brentwood over the Dartford crossing over to South East London, and it's rush hour on a Monday morning, like. And then I just said, look, just get in the car and go. And I've got the kids as well, so at this point I'm trying to like hide all, like nothing's going on, let's get you ready for school. And I just remember texting I don't know why I just texted her and I just said one word, mum, because you know, like, as you, and then straight away my mum rang me and said, what's happened? And I said, I need you to get in now, I think Colin's mum's died. And my mum and dad were so good.
They feel you.
Yeah, it was like she knew, like the minute she saw that message, mum, and my mum and dad, it felt like they got there and they lived like 30 minutes away. It felt like they got there in about 5 minutes, I think, because time was just going really quickly. And that was when I felt like giving up, because I thought, life is too short. And at that point I was like, you know, doing so many hours, working late nights, and you know, I always felt afraid to say no to a client as well. Yeah. It would be like, this is my online availability, but they'd still text me and go, so I've tried to get in but I can't. Is there any chance yeah, okay then, when can you come in this time? And that was when I started to resent it. But it was only after that point where I had time to reflect. Like, I remember one client I messaged and she was like, is there any chance you could do my brows tomorrow? And at this point, this was like the day Barbara passed away. I said, I'm so sorry, we've had some terrible like news. I won't be working for a while. And at that point, still an amazing friend, Nikki, who owns Essex Lash in Romford, who also does my lashes. And I just remember calling Nikki. I said, Nikki, this has happened. I can't work. I've got clients booked in for however long. And she was like, don't worry, send me everything, I'll deal with it. And I didn't even have to message or call a single client. She took everything off of me. She managed my clients. She contacted them all, to the point that my clients were like, hope you're okay. Like, we've had a message from Nikki. And so the fact that I had someone that could take away all that stress for me at that time.
Take off the stress. Where
forever grateful for Nikki and her team.
You just wanted to be with your family. Yeah.
And it was one of my clients that messaged, and I said, Nikki's going to be contacting everyone. Because obviously I didn't want to ignore her. And she was like, well, can you tell me what to book? Because, and I remember at the time, she didn't even like say, I'm so sorry. Like, it was like, well, I need to get in. So, and that was when I thought, no, do you know what? It's just your lashes. Yeah. Nothing bad's going to happen to you if you don't have them done, you know? And that was when I felt like giving up. And that was when it was more like I had so much time to reflect that it was like, what's important to me? What do I need that's going to make me happy and give me that feeling of like pride? And I think I'd got to a point in my career with lashes where I kind of manifested, I'd set myself goals. So it was like, right, I'd like to win competitions, I'd like to get trophies, I'd like to be featured in, you know, magazines, and I got that. I'd like to do celebs. I achieved that. And then it was like, what's next? Like, do I want a salon? I wanted to be a trainer, I did that. And then it was like, do I want a salon? So I went through a stage of eyeing up some premises, whether or not I wanted to have a salon in Brentwood. But the monthly rent was just the amount of money you'd have to make just to break even. it was almost like, why would I do that when I've got this perfectly beautiful space in my garden, like you, with rear access? No one even has to come into my home. And then pay £900 just for a name above a door.
Yeah, when you put it like, it's not important.
No,
because they're still going to be coming into that place having the lashes that you were doing in your cabin.
If anything, it was then I'd have to employ someone that would be able to hold up to my standards of my expectations of how I would want a lash set to be created, blah blah blah. And yeah, that was when it was like, right, what's next? And that was when I messaged Hannah and said, because I got chatting to Hannah at Lash Battle, just in general, just literally just chatting, nothing about employment or training or anything. And then I just messaged Hannah on the off chance and said, like, you know, I've had a bit of time to reflect on my life and, you know, I need a new challenge. And we had a call and Hannah was like, okay, but I need you to do like 3 days a week. And I was like, that's not going to work for me. I can only do 1 day a week. And she was like, I don't think that's going to work for me. And then I just remember talking to Hannah and I was like, just give me a chance. Like, I promise you, like, my 1 day my 1 day isn't 9 to 5. Like, I will give you a lot in a day. Fast forward, I now do 3 days a week, near on full time.
Hannah got what she wanted.
But I think a lot of it is because I love it so much. I just really enjoy it.
So let's actually talk about London Lash. So
yes,
you are now, you manage me as well. So you're
not
like,
really.
You're like would you say that you're like the head trainer? Would we class yourself as something like
so
that?
my job title is head of training, but that is just more so I look after with Dasha, and Dasha's a huge part, my lovely Dasha, huge part of what we do. So we've got the Educators Club, which we soft launched in April, and that's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which
I've seen a lot of it. I even messaged you, didn't I?
Yeah. And that we created as like a hub for, and we started creating that, Hannah and I, back in November last year. So to see it all come to life now and actually happen, it's amazing how you can start with a brainstorm and suddenly it's this like amazing club for educators.
Do you feel like the role you're in now is the challenge that you needed in your mind?
Yes, absolutely.
So after everything that has happened with Colin's mum and how it does make you realise what life's about, doesn't it? Do you feel like now you have like more time with family and stuff like
well, I have weekends off, which is a huge thing. I can't believe sometimes I used to work Saturdays from like 8 till 6.
I used to do the same.
And I used to have clients that would say, is there any chance I could come at 7? And I'd say, yeah.
Come in
in your pyjamas.
Because you would already go, I'm already working, so it don't matter.
Yeah. And I remember getting up at like 6 to turn the heating on in my little cabin so my client could come at 7. And as much as the money was lovely, it made me realise I'd rather have a day with my kids. Like last weekend we went to Alton Towers.
Aww.
And we got up at, what time did we leave? We left about 6:45. We spent the whole day at Alton Towers. We met up with my stepson and his girlfriend and we stayed in a hotel and we all had some drinks, and then in the morning we got up and had breakfast.
So in a way, London
if I was
Lash,
working now, it's
more free. You have actually got freedom in a different way. It's like, yes, your workload's a lot, but it's made your mind.
Yeah, it's more like Monday to Friday I'm working. But then at the same time, I know that it's quite flexible in the sense that if I want to just work 9 till 12, I can.
And you're not doing lashes.
Like a client who's booked in and I can't turn around and go, I'm sorry.
And you're doing the same thing with lashes.
Yeah.
With regulars.
Yes.
It's the same thing every day.
Yeah.
So it almost gets a bit, I don't ever like to say the word boring, but I don't, because it's not boring.
Samey.
It's samey. Yeah. Whereas with London Lash, it's
every day is different.
Event days, you're organising something, you're talking to a different team, you're going to the warehouse. Like, looking at your career
really
now, I love watching what you get up to because it's so different. I just feel like so many people like inspired to be doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Because we met, didn't we, at Lash Battle. The
first year
in
2023.
London. And you placed in that one, didn't you? Where did you place?
I did. I came third.
Well done.
Thank you.
That was a huge competition.
It was, and I remember feeling really, really nervous because I first of all, I entered 2 categories, classic and volume. 3D volume, I think it was, and classic. And I remember my model was late for classic. So everyone got like their time, and I remember going up to one of the organisers, I think it was Abby actually, who's our like marketing head of marketing at London Lash, and I was like, is there any chance that I could go in and just sort of, you know, get my pillow out? She was like, no, you can't go in unless you're with your model. So I'm like,
I remember
literally,
you'd stand outside in that queue,
outside waiting, and I was like clock watching, and I was thinking, oh, where are you, please? Because I'm thinking I'm eating into time here. And then she turned up and we ran in, and I then prepped all my everything. And I was really proud of that set, actually, that I created. But I think I took the rules quite literally, maybe, to the point of when it was looking at coverage, I was worried that I would be scored down if I, say, lashed a baby lash, for example. But actually what I didn't realise is coverage is they want you to cover every single lash. So for us, if we had a client in with a number of baby lashes, we would most likely skip those unless we would leave a gap. If we can get away with leaving them, we will, because we know it's healthy for the natural lash to grow more before we apply. So then I was like, right, I'll leave those in case they see it and think I've lashed a baby lash and I'll lose scores. But the feedback I got from that first round was brilliant. It was almost like, I'm so glad, and anyone who's listening who wants to enter a live competition and there's multiple categories, enter them, because that first round for me was like the dummy round. It gave me a sense of how the room felt, the atmosphere, the feeling, the setup. If I'd have gone in and I think just entered one category, then I felt more prepared going into the second round. That
happened to me when the first year I met you. I did the volume, and I only did one, and it all went wrong. I couldn't. My light was bad. Every time I leant forward, there was a shadow. I couldn't hardly get any coverage. I was just like stressed, and then I didn't have another category to go onto to like
redeem yourself. Almost.
to save me. And I was so disappointed, but it almost made me eager for
the next year,
because you actually came back as a judge on the next year, didn't you?
I did. I remember though, I remember Carolina was calling out the scores, and it was like in 4th place is when I placed in 2023, and 4th place was like, I don't know, 80 something, and Becky was like, my sister was with me, she was like, well, you must have placed because your score's like 78 or something like that, or I don't know, it was less, more than the 4th place. So then I thought, well, something's happening. And then it was ironically, there was only 0.5 points between me second and first. So the second and first, in the end, they tied, and they gave the second and first over if anyone had stickies. But I came third, but I almost feel like, I could have been second. Do you know what I mean? Because it was only 0.5.
You was in the top 3,
but I was in the top 3.
People travelled all around the world to be there.
Yeah, I remember being I just remember being on cloud 9. And my sister drove, and we were driving back, and it was late, and I was like calling everyone and texting.
I've placed.
And like getting home with my trophy.
Did you have that big check?
Yeah. I only got rid of it not long ago.
They didn't do it that year, did they? I was really hoping to have something.
The big check. Yeah, no, I loved it all, and it was such a good experience. So yeah, to be invited back as a judge the next year was really good. Nerve-wracking.
I think live I haven't done a live competition like judging, but I can imagine it's
really nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Especially as like you've got, I was sat next to Aisha, and she was quick, and you could see she was quick because the way she was judging, she was like sieving through those lashes. And then Veronica to my left was more at a slower pace. So I'm in the middle, and there was 3 of us all judging the same category. So I'm like, okay. And then I remember looking at Veronica and she was like, you can't look at me because it might be biased. So I was like, okay. So I just remember thinking, right, I'll wait for the next model to come.
No one look at me.
Yeah. And it's really hard, isn't it? Because, like, a few people did come up to me after, actually, and said, like, thank you. Like, I was really grateful for your feedback on the score sheet. Because that was another thing, like, there was a really mixed, like, being behind the scenes as a judge, seeing what happened after, like how some people would almost like protest against their scores, so then it was having to be re-reviewed. Luckily none of mine was, because I tried to be as fair as possible, but then equally you could put that down to someone's opinion, right? Like,
I think sometimes people can become a bit bitter, and they almost don't want to have that criticism. But I feel like sometimes, like, if I go have a competition, I want someone to give me criticism. I want to know the smallest areas I can improve on.
Yeah.
It's actually Veronica, she judged my lash lift category on that lash battle.
Yeah.
And I, till this day, my lash lifts have improved because of a simple step she told me. I've never done a lash lift competition live or even online, and I thought, I'm going to challenge myself and do it. And she said to me, make the wrap tighter. So when she literally detailed.
Yeah, her
really
feedback was amazing.
Apply pressure and put it. And to this day, I was like, oh my God, that's such a simple, tiny little tweak.
Yeah.
My lash lifts have improved incredibly.
Yeah.
So like, I could have taken that in a way of like, oh, why are you being like that with my work, you know? I'm really good at it, sort of thing. But
it was really quite sad as well, because obviously where I'd been there the year before, I knew the pressure, and I remember some of the score sheets the technicians had wrote on their thing, sorry, I got really stressed, I tried my best, like, I've done a terrible job, or something like that. And I was like, oh, like, because you can understand how, you know, under pressure. And it's different as well. I remember when I went, I took like 3 different adhesives with me, because I was like, I don't know what this room temperature is going to be like.
You've got to be over prepared.
Yeah, different thicknesses, different curls, just in case something went wrong while I was in there. And I remember, I love my Evil Eyes.
Oh, you do? You got 3?
Yeah, I do. And I had my Glamcore light, and I hung it on the Glamcore.
For luck.
Because there were definitely some evil eyes in that room, let me tell you. I think because it's just competition, isn't it? Like, everyone was eyeing up the competition. That was in 2023. But yeah, that was where we met, wasn't it?
It was. And I felt like we just gravitated to each other. Did. You were like bubbly, warm, positive.
From Essex as well.
Always like, hello.
Yeah.
No, and then we've even since then, when I met you again, because
2024, I literally searched the room for you. So I turned up late, and then I saw there was a spare seat next to you and Carolina, and I was like, can I sit here?
I messaged you a few weeks before saying,
are you going?
Are you going? Yeah. I see you were judging. What category are you judging?
I was so confident you were going to place, though. Like, do you remember me sending you that video?
Which one?
I sent you the video of you getting up to go and collect your award.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know, because obviously you score.
No one knows, do they? No.
I didn't know who your model was. I didn't know anything. And you don't know who's going to place. Only, like, the event organisers know. And I just remember thinking, surely she's going to... And then I just remember quickly getting my phone out and filming you going up to the stage. And even at the end, when everyone, I, like, zoomed in on you, because it was like you just looked so... just so happy.
I felt that year something change in me like I've never had it before. I had this, like, even though the year prior I fluffed it, I was embarrassed.
What would you say you did? What did you do differently?
Well, the year before, the light issue, I literally probably applied like 20 lashes to both. It was bad, and I actually was mortified. I actually said to my sister, I don't think you should go and be judged, because... my fans were, in the end, I thought, if my fans are good, then my placement's good, whatever, coverage is just going to be one of them things. I actually got all right marks for really low coverage, just for the set I did. But for my level, I should have been producing better, but the competition, the environment just got to me.
Yeah.
The following year, I was so over-prepared that I just couldn't be nervous. I always could feel that I was going to get something.
You manifested it.
Mariola, like her other half, Matt, he got a video of me the day before. I've actually got it on my Instagram, and he went to me at the conference. How many awards are you going to win? And I said 2. I'm going to win. Yeah. And the next day, I picked up 2 awards, and I was like, wow! Like I just felt like so. I could see it. Yeah, it's weird when I do think
there's that manifestation thing, because one of my clients, before I entered Lash Battle in 23, she was an Irish dancer, and she entered competitions all the time when she was young. And I actually said to her, I was like, Sarah, what advice would you give me going into this competition? Because I was so nervous as well. And she said, what you need to do, what I used to do when she entered the Irish dancing competitions, is as soon as you walked into that hotel or venue, you picture yourself walking out with a trophy. So I remember taking a deep breath as I walked in, and I pictured myself walking back out of those doors with a trophy, and it happened. So now I feel like that's all I'd have to do, is just picture myself.
I remember picking your brains. I remember going, so did you alternate eyes? Did you do this when you won? And you were like, I just lashed how I usually lash.
Yeah, I did. I was lucky as well. I had my sister.
Give me strategy.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, get a model who you know. Like, I knew with my sister, one of my biggest fears was chemical burn with Becky. Funny how you say that. Because Becky, I don't know, sometimes the tape moves. It's just her eye shape, I think. But I thought, if I'm going to do it, it's got to be my sister. So I had my sister, and I said to her, Beck, you must tell me if your eyes sting. And there was a few times she was like, Sue, I feel like it's... So it would be like, right, you know, like when you're on a roll, but I'd have to move it and make sure it was all readjusted. And luckily we didn't get any chemical burn, but I was like... So, but again, I think if you're entering lash competitions, you hear about people that like will just advertise it and say, I need you to come to London or whatever, but it has to be someone you know.
I practiced my models, especially my volume model. Yeah, I think she had that set for like 2 or 3 times, just so I knew exactly what to do. Except for I did change on the day. I did use 2 different browns, and I hadn't trialed that. And I just thought, let's just have a go. Yeah, you know what I mean? And see what happens, because I know what her eyes are like. The one thing I really wanted to talk to you about is you working with celebrities.
Okay. Okay.
How did that happen? Because I remember a while back that I saw on TikTok, actually, that you did Stacey Solomon.
Yeah.
But eyebrows. You met her in
the nail shop in Brentwood High Street. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about this.
Okay. So I was, I think celebrity in general, I'll be honest, I think there's a lot of luck there. For me.
So was she your first?
No. Oh. So I did a couple of Love Islanders first. So I don't know if you'd call them celebrities. You'd probably call them influencers. And it was Rosie Williams. I don't know if you remember her from Love Island. And I just spent loads of time just DMing loads and loads and loads of influencers, Love Islanders, because I thought I need to, at the time, I was about to start my training, and what I thought I needed was exposure. I didn't need clients. I just needed exposure. I needed people to know who I am, where I was based, so I could get students. So I would just DM loads and loads and loads of people. Rosie Williams was one that got back to me. She was like, hey, like, I've had basically her sister, while she was in Love Island, created a spreadsheet of all the people that had contacted her for collaborations. So like nail technicians, lash artists, whatever it may be, because you can only imagine what it's like for these influencers when they come out.
Explode, yeah. So
it was amazing that her sister had created this spreadsheet of contacts, and apparently I was top of the list. So I don't know whether her sister reviewed the work in the process, but yeah, she invited me to a hotel in Shoreditch at the time, and I had to go. I remember taking like all my stuff and doing it on a hotel bed. I took my lash pillow, but she sort of laid on the bed in the hotel, and I did her lashes. And she'd only got out like I think a few days before, and she was staying in London, and obviously she promoted me, so that was really lucky.
So did you take your lash bed, or was you?
No,
just on the
I just
bed?
took my lash pillow and got her. Now I would take my bed, but at the time it was like I need to get on the train.
Oh, you don't want to lug that around.
No, so that was Rosie, and then a couple of Towie girls. Jess Wright, who's now one of my really good friends.
She's so beautiful.
She's so beautiful. The whole family is stunning.
But their mum?
Carol is incredible. Yeah. She's such a proud nanny as well. Whenever I see Carol, she's always showing me pictures of her grandchildren, and yeah, she's very, very busy.
So did Jess approach you?
Again, this is luck.
Did you message or?
So this is luck. So I had a friend who went on a hen do with Jess, and Jess, I think, had messaged in like a WhatsApp group with her friends to say she needs a lash tech, and Lana, who was on his hen do, said Sue. And then I went to Jessie's house, did Jessie's lashes, and then I got Natalia, then Carol, then Jess put me in touch with Gemma Collins, so then Gemma.
Wow.
And then Michelle. Obviously, Natalia goes for a much more natural look, brown, natural vibes.
I feel brown's your vibe.
I do love brown.
You do your...
So many of my clients, probably 50-50 now, black and brown. Many people go for brown.
Wow.
50% of my clients prefer brown.
I feel like when they're done well, like in the sense like... they
choosing
still
the right shade. And
they look natural, but they're almost... you can still see that they're there, because sometimes I think they go too natural,
like a soft glam vibe.
I love it.
And I think Michelle saw Natalia's, loved them. I've done Michelle's a few times, but most recently when she reached out and said, I want brown lashes, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be incredible, because she wanted brown lashes. And I went to her house, beautiful home, which is another dynamic I think doing celebrity clients, is they do welcome you into their home, and that is like their true safe space. You know, you don't often really see celebrity homes. I mean, you've got MTV Cribs from years ago when we were younger, but often a lot of it, I know a lot of influencers also have like home pages and stuff where they give you snippets, but to actually be invited into their home, I'm always grateful for that trust element.
They are trusting you to be in the place where they relax.
Yeah. I mean, Jess, I've known now. I started doing Jess in 2018, like 6 months after I qualified.
Oh my god, was she?
So I've been doing all of their lashes.
Was she famous
now.
then?
Yeah. She was. I think just finishing Towie, just sort of on. So yeah, I mean, I've always been really grateful for them because they've always stood by me. And you know, in the beginning, it was very much a business arrangement in the sense that I'd do your lashes, you do me an Instagram story or post or whatever to give me exposure. But now they are just full paying clients. They just come, pay me full price. You know, they'll always buy me a Christmas gift. Like, it's generally just a nice friendship where, you know, we trust each other sort of thing. And they know now that I can't do the home visits. Like, they have to come to me because I'm just too busy. But what I love is they still do that. They could probably get someone else that would be happy to,
but they
go mobile.
They prefer you though. They like what you do.
I hope so.
I feel like I feel like when you're with someone, it's like you're just normal clients.
Yeah.
They fall in love with the person as well as the lashes that you're doing.
Yeah.
And it is also effort trying to find someone else as well, isn't it?
And then Jacqueline Josser, she lives fairly local. So she reached out. I did Jacqueline Josser's lashes a few times. She's EastEnders actress. Yeah. She's lovely.
She's got looks like she has a good energy.
Yeah. And I think that's where I've been so lucky is I remember when I first started to do like more high profile clients, I'd feel really anxious and nervous. But now it's just like any other client. And I also think it's really important that it's easy to cross a line and go, tell me about this or tell me about that, or, you know, what I would never do is, you know, tell me about, oh, there's this rumours in the press, is it true? Or I just keep it very, very just relaxed and talking to a friend.
Like
I'll never go into
client, do you know what I mean? Not like they're someone that you want to... I feel like as soon as you like encroach and overstep that line, they probably won't want to be around you.
I would never, ever. And I think that's really key for anyone listening that wants to do celebrity clients or any high profile client, whether they're an influencer and you want to come up with this collaboration or whatever it may be, is just to treat them with respect and just don't cross the line. don't get me wrong, I cross the line with my clients all the time because we've been friends for a really long time. But it's just sort of maintaining that extreme professionalism. And, you know, like even with Michelle, you know, any pictures I posted had to be signed off by her. Like I couldn't just take a picture and, you know, again, Michelle, although she hasn't promoted me as such, she's always been under, like, Michelle pays me, but she's always been, you know, Sue, I'm happy for you to post, but I need to sign it off. So again, that's another thing where the picture that I personally probably would have preferred to choose another, but so you just have to respect that boundary as well, to go, okay, like that's the one. She's like, you know, and as much as I'd love to post Michelle's whole face or half of it, it's like, no, it's got to be just the eye. And again, that's frustrating. But again, she could have said, no, I don't want you posting it. I don't want no one to know. And that was when Hello Magazine picked it up and reached out.
Yeah, that was huge.
And wanted to know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so good.
Wanted to know. And, you know, it's crazy because I went to the warehouse about 10 days after that press release. And Tony showed me, who's our warehouse manager at London Lash, where the brown lashes are. Espresso was completely gone, sold out. So it was mad. It was like the Michelle Keegan influence.
Maybe that's what they should be called.
Yeah.
Michelle Keegan
lashes.
Edition.
Yeah. But yeah, the espresso lashes sold out not long after that, which was amazing. And I think what I loved as well, when I posted it on my social media, because it was brown lashes, which, let's be honest, in the industry, it's nice to do. Brown lashes are still, I think, they're very established now. But to have a celebrity like Michelle Keegan, a famous actress, to go and have these brown lashes felt big. And it was amazing how many people had reposted it onto their Instagram stories and said, come and get, and I think that was when they was like, right, well, if Michelle Keegan's having it done, I need to stock up on espresso, you know, brown lashes. And yeah, I loved it. And then Stacey Solomon was just an anomaly, I think. So I was just sitting in the nail shop on Brentwood High Street.
Wait, when I had kids, I was like, what?
I know, it's so random.
Was you having your feet done?
Yeah, we were sitting on the pedicure stations, and Stacey was here, there was someone else in the middle, and then there was me. And the lady that sat next to me was obviously, you know, when I said about don't overstep the line, she was overstepping the line. She was like, Stacey, I love you. She's sitting next to me, she's like, Stacey Solomon's there. I was like, okay. So again, I would never normally. Then we ended up in this 3-way conversation talking about the kids and school and stuff like that. And then I just thought, I've got to take this opportunity. And I just said, Stacey, do you ever get your lashes or brows done? And she was like, I do. She said, well, you know, I've always struggled to get my lashes done because I just don't have the time to lay for a long time. I do get my brows done though. And I was like, oh, okay. I said, I do lashes and brows. And I had to say, you know, I do have I'm used to working with celebrity clients and I'm award winning. I sort of had to drop that in there so she didn't know.
I'm quite good at my job.
Yeah. I was like, you know, if you ever want your brows doing, and then she was like, can you come tonight? And I was just a bit like, okay then, yeah. And I was like, I just took my stuff, went to Stacey's house, did her eyebrows. And what was so funny is that she'd then done stories on her Instagram saying, I've got some random woman coming to my house to do my eyebrows tonight that I've met in the nail shop. I hope she's not some crazy person. So then that was funny because that then got picked up by the press, which was great because they worded it as like, Sue ended up being this multi-award winning blah blah blah, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they wrote that. That was really nice. I think it was the Sun actually, which is ironically for the Sun to be nice to people.
I feel like all of this is like the newspapers are awful.
Exactly. And yeah, that got picked up and Stacey promoted me, and then I went back and did her brows again a few times. But yeah, I love it. It's good. Yeah, but I do feel a lot of it's luck.
What is the downsides? Because I find like the idea of it, like, oh my god, like when you've done Michelle Keegan's lashes, I was like, oh, wow. Is it the downside is the travel to them? Is it that maybe if you work with celebrities, they want you like on call, if that makes sense? Like, is there anything like that makes you go, that's just a tiny bit of the downside?
I think it depends how much you want to
do it.
If you're someone that really wants to work with influencers or celebrities, and don't get me wrong, I think you have to. I'm not doing Victoria Beckham or Margot Robbie, you know.
But if you're listening, she wants to do your eyelashes.
Yeah, if you are Margot, I would love to. I will even fly to Australia and do them for you.
Is that where she lives?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think you have to be prepared to, like, I would happily, if Michelle or let's say anyone in celebrity space wanted me to go to their hotel in Manchester, I would go. So it's almost like
that, like,
you have to put yourself out there
about the travel or doing anything like that.
No, I think it's if you want that, but equally, there also has to be something in it for yourself as well. Otherwise, where's the motivation?
What's the point of it all?
So, like, for me, it was like with Stacey, it was like, I'll happily come, but on the condition you promote me. And she was like, yeah, cool, see you at 8. So it was like, I'm not, as much as I can take the payment, that's fine, but I want the promotion out of it. There has to be something in it for you. Otherwise, where's the benefit?
Because you want the exposure.
Yes, it's the benefit of, you know, working with a different type of clientele, going to these beautiful mansions, stunning hotel rooms, you know. But actually, I've never done it. I've done it because there's something in it for me.
Yeah, of course.
Which sounds a bit... I don't do it for the fun. Does that make sense?
No, because you know there's going to be bigger opportunities that come from that, and sometimes you just have to put that hard work in, or go into someone's house, or working that Saturday or Sunday to do it.
Yeah, putting yourself out.
Yeah, of course. Has there been any... I know you won't say anything bad about anyone, but is there any celebrity stories you could say that were a bit like, not the person, but like any nightmare stories or anything that you found like challenging, or you not?
Yeah, I mean, it can be really challenging. I think I can't name names, but I think it's just a case of sometimes it's time as well. So I remember there was this one occasion where I did their lashes and it was like, I want them to be full, but can you hurry up? And then I remember her open her eyes and she was like, they're not that full, are they? And I was like, but you wanted to go, so what did you do? So she just left, and then she came back again a few days later for me to fill them out a bit more. And I think that's the problem when you're working with celebrity clients, or one of the downsides is schedules. It's like they've got places to be all the time. So it's capturing that moment of time with them. And because it's a high profile client, you then want them to look the best ever,
but then you're in such a time frame that you're like, feel like, do you feel like you're rushing? Or
yeah. And then you worry they look rubbish.
Will they last?
Exactly. So but yeah, I've had some horror stories. I think it's just, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I think it makes you realise what you think what you see is not necessarily
what it is. Yeah.
But I'm so grateful for the opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, your clientele's... Whenever I see Jess Fry and her family on the red carpet, I'm like, Sue's done their lashes?
Yeah.
Would you say working with celebrities is like one of the proudest achievements, or like one of them? Or is there something in your career that you've like, that makes you really proud?
I think most recently the brown lashes for Michelle, when it got picked up by Hello and they reached out to me, that was a real proud moment. But I think my proudest achievement is probably just being able to put money on the table, and I could easily fall into that trap of being a kept woman, that cliche kept woman. But I would never want to be. So for me, I'm just proud that, like, for my children, like even my son this morning, he left to go to school and he rang me, so I panicked and I was like, Joe, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I just wanted to wish you luck for the podcast today, because they listen all the time. Aww. And I was like, oh, thanks, Joe, thank you. You all right though? Yeah. just wanted to say, I hope it goes well and all that, like really, really sweet. So I think just for them to see me create a business for myself, and
you and Colin are like role models to your kids. Of
I hope so. Yeah. And I think that's my proudest moment, is just to, like, even Bella today, she was like, so what do you mean? You're going to be on YouTube? I was like,
yes, you are.
I said, I think so. So I can watch it. I was like, yeah, you can. So I think just for her and for Joe, my proudest moment is just actually like being able to buy things, do things, and be like, I did that. I'm not just living off my husband. I'm living off myself. And
you've created this life from breastfeeding at a training course, being in the dining room. Like, if you actually have a minute of, like, from where you started, bank, having babies, doing a course when your babies were so young, and now look at you. Like, you have just gone straight, like, a journey, but look at where you are now. And what is next? What do you think? Like, I know you're working with London Lash, but is there anything that makes you go, like, I'd love to do?
I think if I was to say, like, over the next couple of years, I really just want to hone in on London Lash and continue to sort of try and influence where I can. I'm learning so much every day, back ends of websites I never knew I'd be involved in. And, there's so much behind a brand that you just don't realise. No. So to be a part of that, I'm just absolutely loving. So for me, I just want to continue to work with London Lash, hopefully continue to see it grow, be a part of that growth, because the industry is evolving all the time.
All the time.
And to see London Lash evolve with it is just like, wow, so quick and creative. And, like the creative team, you don't realise behind every single Instagram story or post or image, there's so much work that's gone on behind the scenes. So I would just love to continue that journey and just see where it takes me.
What about your training? Because I know I saw you open the dates. Would that be something else that might be coming back?
Yeah, so I would like to. I think because we want to have like the online theory as part, so to sort of save us time, I definitely would get back into training. At the moment, I'm so busy. But yeah, it's definitely on my radar, definitely something that I'm open to. If someone reached out and said, I'd love to learn and I want it to be you, I wouldn't turn them away. Future
now, like, it's still going to be going with London Lash.
I hope so.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like it doesn't just stop at London Lash, because it's just, there's so many new things that are happening.
Yeah, I've got Barcelona next week.
I think that's incredible.
With work. Lots and lots of things happening. Yeah,
but you're the best person for the job. Like, even
I hope so.
Even like you, obviously you look after all the trainers. Like, I just feel like you're approachable, you're kind. Do you know what I mean? You're like warm. I can ask you anything, and I know it. Not that it's ever you won't say anything that I say. Do you know what I mean? Not that it's anything bad, but you just have that. It's just very trusting.
Doesn't come without. It's like, I do worry though, because there's a lot of people.
Many people.
So it's almost like, you worry that you give more time to someone else and not the others. I think it's just, I'm still learning. I'm still trying to deal with the challenges.
It's a new role.
Yeah.
You have to, I feel like you make the little mistakes and learn from it.
Exactly.
But then I also think in life, if you're managing that many people, not every single person's going to be happy. And that's just life.
Yeah, it's true.
But you're absolutely smashing it. You're doing a great
darling.
Job.
Thank you.
So we are coming towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
What I wanted to ask you is, other than the world of lashes, what do you love outside of it? Because I know that you spend loads of time with your family and going on holidays. But what is, personal to you? Like, what do you love? What's your favourite thing?
Definitely my holidays. And that's where I said about the making memories piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my husband would rather save money, because I'm like, no, let's spend it, because if we're not here, we're not going to be able to enjoy it. So we might as well make memories with it.
Definitely.
So I'm definitely the spender of the relationship. on holidays, mainly weekend breaks. And a lot of the reason for that is I love then I can just be with the kids and Colin and just have that time where there's no distractions because you're away from it all, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So holidays, weekends away, big thing. Seeing my bestie, love my bestie, Peyton. So if you're listening to this, love you.
Name.
Yeah, she's been great. Even just like a weekly coffee, like just does wonders for the mind when you can just offload to your bestie. I would say things like gardening or painting or art, but that's definitely not me.
When you just said gardening, I just looked at you thinking,
Definitely not me.
Same, I can't imagine.
My garden is astroturf, so that keeps it nice and simple.
Do you like reading?
Not really. I don't get the time.
I'm not very good at reading.
It's really bad because I don't even work out. I should do.
You look good.
Well, thank you. Don't feel it. But yeah, there's many things I should do more so for myself. I mean, I love a spiced rum and Coke Zero. But no, really, it's just family, really.
Spending time with your family.
Yeah.
What's your favourite coffee?
Latte.
Oh, so we did well with the caramel latte.
We did. I do love a little shot of caramel in there. That's nice.
Lucky we had it. Okay, so at the end, I'm going to, as you're the first guest, obviously I've never done this before, we're going to do like a fire round.
Okay.
So the first thing that comes to your head, just quickly say what it is. So the questions are, what's your go-to comfort food after a long day of work?
Chocolate.
Oh, what one?
Oh, we're not being very quick fire, are we? Any
I'm a
any
Cadbury.
chocolate.
I'm a Cadbury
Galaxy, Cadbury's, anything.
One word your friends would use to describe you.
Oh my god. Let's go with if it was from my best friend, she would say fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
What lash tool or product would you never live without?
Never live without. Probably it'd have to be my tweezers. Do you know I've had the same volume tweezers since 2018.
And you've never dropped them?
I've dropped them, but they still work. Yeah, I still use them.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you have learned so far?
In my career.
Or in life?
Biggest lesson I've learned. I think patience is key.
That's a good one.
Yeah, patience is the biggest. Nothing comes quick. You have to be patient.
It's not an overnight job.
It definitely isn't.
If you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would that be?
Oh, I'm not very good at this, am I?
No, you're fine. That was a hard one. That's quite
my younger self.
Your younger self. If you was to look back at little Sue to where you are now, is there any advice that you'd give them?
It's funny because I don't see myself like at a place.
What do you mean?
Well, I don't. I still feel like I've got more to achieve. It's funny, isn't it?
Well, I feel like we all do.
Yeah.
But like, what's that little bit of advice where you would be? It could be something like,
I think maybe I should just believe in myself a little bit more.
that's a good one.
I'd probably tell my younger self to just believe you can and you will. Probably that type of thing.
And nothing's as scary as you think it's going to be. It's a good one. There is one last one.
Okay.
So, from 1 to 30, pick a number.
23. That's my birthday.
Ooh. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice I've ever received.
And I've got one that comes to my mind for you because we spoke about it the other day.
Probably Hannah, who owns London Lash. I was getting quite emotional about something, and I won't share it just in case the said person listens to this. But it was very much to not take things so personally and just to kind of, just people do things, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's your fault. Don't take it personally. It's just what it is. It's just life.
It's like not expecting as much from
people. Don't expect much, and then if it comes to you, then it's all good, but never expect it. Nothing will be handed on a plate.
Hannah gives good advice.
She does. She really does.
Wow, now we're coming to the end. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for having me
so much for being my first guest. I'm sure we're going to be seeing loads of you and whatever you're getting up to. Where can people find you? Instagram wise, what's your Instagram? And
so my Instagram is @SusannaDaisy_London Lash Pro.